NBA biggest crowd reactions. Remember that Micheal Jordan era? You must remember how excited we used to be to watch Micheal Jordan on screen. And watching him live was even better. And if you're a Micheal Jordan fan, you can't forget that match from the 1998 season, Hawks vs. Bulls. The nail-biter in Georgia Dome Stadium is one of the most hyped moments of all time. Crowds roaring echoed through the walls of Georgia Dome. One side was loaded with Micheal Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and Tony Kukoc. At the same time, the Hawks had powerhouse Steve Smith, Mookie Blaylock, and Alan Henderson. Micheal Jordan performed exceptionally, scoring 34 points on 50% shooting in Chicago's 89-74 victory, like he always did. The stadium was jam-packed. And with every score from the Bulls, the crowd cheered even more. Well, that was intense. Today, we'll discuss some similar top 5 biggest crowd reactions. Just not that old. Top 5 loudest crowds moment. 1. Miami Heat vs. Toronto Raptors. The first moment we will enjoy happened between Miami Heat vs. Toronto Raptors. The Eastern Conference semifinals was one of the most epic showdowns. Miami Heat was winning by 3 points. Kyle Lowry taking the ball to the other side of the court. The clock was ticking, and the final few seconds were left. Lowry had no option but to aim for a three-pointer to level the score. He beautifully dodged RHE ball, jumped in the air and stretched his body forward. As the ball escaped his palm, the buzzer rang, mentioning the end of full-time. The crowd held on to Lowry's shot like a string holding their lives. Something extraordinary happened. The ball passed through the bucket, and the whole crowd roared like they had won the semis. The loud cheers from the crowd were deafening the eardrums. It was one of the most exciting matches ever recorded in NBA history. The match was extended to an overtime. Eventually, the Toronto Raptors lost by 102-96. But that moment will never be forgotten by the basketball lovers. 2. Chicago Bulls vs. Cleveland Cavaliers. The next on our list is the iconic moment from the 2015 NBA Eastern Conference Semifinals Game 3. Chicago Bulls and Cleveland Cavaliers were fighting a battle to win the series. The match was a nail-biter, with both the teams stuck on the same points. The final few seconds were left, and Michael Dunleavy had the possession. Trying to dodge the ball from the opponent, he passed it beautifully to Derrick Rose. Dribbling the ball, Derrick carried it through the wall of defenders spread before him. He set his foot tight, bent his body and jumped in the air, aiming for a three-pointer. The ball was still in the air when the buzzer rang, indicating the end of the match. If the ball had missed, the game would have entered overtime. However, Derrick's shot landed straight into the bucket. The crowd roared and cheered like they had never before. Although the Bulls won the match, the Cavaliers won the series. This was one of the most intense moments in NBA history. Can't say about many, but we are never going to forget it. 3. Hawks vs. Wizards. The next on our list is the epic clash in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Atlanta Hawks and the Washington Wizards. The series was tied by 1-1, and whoever won the match would have won the series. The game's final moments were going on, and the score was tied with 101-101. Paul Pierce had the ball, and the Hawks defenders surrounded him. He couldn't move the ball around. Pierce clearly knew that the buzzer would ring at any moment, and this was the time to make the right decision. He tried to dribble the ball away, but the defending side effectively stopped him from doing so. Paul stepped back a little, stretched his body and aimed for the shot. He fell down on his back as he threw the ball. He fell flat on his back and looked at the ball hoping to get the desired result. The moment the buzzer rings, the ball also passes through the bucket, giving a score of 2 to the Wizards. Paul scored a 21-foot two-point shot, which changed the result of the game. The whole crowd went crazy, cheering for the Wizards. Thinking about that moment still gives us goosebumps, right? 4. Warriors vs. Lakers. The rivalry between the Golden State Warriors and Los Angeles Lakers has been around for a while. So, this hyped play moment is from a match between the two. It was the 6th game of the West Conference semifinal. The Lakers had a lead of 3-2, and the Warriors wanted to win this badly to make a comeback. The last few seconds are left into the second quarter, and the game took an exciting twist. Looney had the ball, and he shot for what looked like the easiest three-pointer. However, the ball missed by a few millimeters. Yet, there was still a chance left for the Warriors as DiVincenzo was brilliant at offensive rebounds and tried to dunk the ball. But Davis blocked the ball beautifully before he could perform a perfectly timed dunk. The ball was picked by Reeves. He was fully aware that only a few milliseconds were left until the buzzer. Halfway to the court, he aimed for the shot, and as the ball hit the bucket, the buzzer went off in the same instant. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes at such a brilliant shot and went crazy. The roars echoed throughout the Crypto.com arena. The Lakers later won the match, thus winning the series with a lead of 4-2. 5. Heat vs. Bucks. The last game in our sequence of the cheer from the match between the Miami Heat and Milwaukee Bucks. The match was proceeding in the favor of the Bucks. But, suddenly, the tables were turned. And the scoreboard started to increase in Heat's favor. Bucks were in the lead with 101-91, but after the end of the match, the situation changed entirely. With almost 5 minutes left in the game, Butler, in possession of the ball, dribbled through the court, with Middleton blocking his way. He aced through the court with expertise and dunked the ball into the bucket. The whole crowd cheered. But this was not it. After this bucket, the match took an interesting turn. Butler, with exceptional skills, dunked the ball in the bucket. The whole crowd cheered. The next in the line was Martin with an intelligent throw for a three-pointer. And what a snatch from Adebayo and a perfectly timed throw to Butler, and Butler jumped up high and dunked the ball. The crowd's echoes were roaring through the arena. It felt like the voices were deafening the ears. With every bucket from the Miami Heat, the roars getting louder and louder. And the point when the scores were 109-110, with Miami in the lead, the shouts felt like adrenaline. From 101-91, within just 5 minutes, the score was 109-110, with the Heat in the lead. That was an extraordinary game for that season and all of the NBA seasons. The match was eventually won by the Miami Heat. Butler's mind-blowing performance snatched the game from the Bucks' grasp and took the victory home. For any match, the role of the crowd is pivotal. It energizes the players with cheers and creates a sense of excitement among the players. If the stadium is dead, even players lose the strength to win. Whichever side gets more cheers is likely to win the match. Well, at least most of the time. We told you our top 10 most hyped moments where the crowds went crazy. Mention in the comments your favorite ones. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updated with the top news from the NBA.